Now, let me go on the line and first speak to the Deputy Attorney General. I said Godfrey, sorry. He used to be Deputy. Alfred Tuah-Yeboah. Thank you very much, Senior, for joining us on Newsfile.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Brother.
So you have asked for the docket. The docket has been delivered to you. The police issued a statement to say that they have delivered the docket to you. Why are you interested in the docket of something that the police is prosecuting already? And an aspect of the bigger matters as regards the source being prosecuted by or investigated by the Office of Special Prosecutor. Some say you are seeking to intervene and to do something untoward.
All right, thank you very much, and good morning to fellow panelists. Now, the Attorney General is given the exclusive authority by our Constitution to initiate all criminal prosecutions on behalf of the Republic. However, the Attorney General is not able to prosecute all the cases, and in view of that, various entities or bodies have been given the fiat by the Attorney General to prosecute on his behalf.
That's right.
One of such institutions is the police service. And let me also indicate that under our law, the Attorney General's office does not investigate cases. That power to investigate is with the police and other state bodies. So, in the event that a complaint is lodged with the police will have to investigate, and after the investigation, then they may want to go to court and prosecute on behalf of the Attorney General. So in this particular case, a complaint was lodged, the police went in to investigate the complaint, and on behalf of the Attorney General, filed the charges and arraigned the accused person before the second court in Accra. But because the police prosecute on behalf of the Attorney General, they are under a duty to ensure that either the Attorney General is informed about such cases pending before court, or they seek the further intervention of the Attorney General before they even commence prosecutions in court. The practice has been that where there is a docket before the police, and depending on the nature of that particular case, they always make sure that they refer such a docket to the AG for its review and advice before they proceed. If you also look at the amount involved in this particular case and the level of public interest in the matter, the police thought it wise that the AG's input ought to be sought. And that's the basis upon which they took a decision to submit the docket to the Attorney General for his review and advice. Now, in the review and advice, the Attorney General, having been seized with the full docket, the original docket, goes through every page of the docket to indicate whether the evidence on record will be sufficient to warrant the continuous prosecution of the case. So in the review exercise, various decisions may be made by the Attorney General. One, the Attorney General may, after the review, say that based on the facts on the record, the charges should be maintained. The Attorney General also advised that based on the evidence on record on the docket, the charges should be dropped. The third option may also be that the charges may have to be amended, and by amendment, the charges may either go up or come down, or may even introduce an entirely new charge. The Attorney General also reserves the right, upon reviewing the docket, to ask the police to conduct further investigations into areas that the AG thinks ought to have been gone into by the police. So, Counsel, if you look at the architecture within the AG setup, this is how it operates. In this particular case, The docket has been submitted to the AG. Our officers are working on the docket. When I say working, they are reviewing the docket. And depending on what we find in the docket, the various options already outlined, one or more of them may be activated.
So as we know, like you said, first degree offenses, some second degree felonies cannot be prosecuted unless on your instructions to who should prosecute them. And this one, because of the involvement of the public officer, do you think that the police they erred when they didn't bring this to your notice, working on a matter of such, magnitude?
I will not say the police erred. The police, based on the authority that they have, preferred charges against some accused persons. And that has been the practice within the prosecution division of the police. The police prefer charges that they are allowed under law to prosecute: stealing, dishonestly receiving, and conspiracy. So in terms of the approach that the police took, we will not force them to doing it. But so far as they prosecute on behalf of the Attorney General, they are required, under certain circumstances as stated already, to submit dockets to us for our review. And this particular case, in view of the nature of the case, the amount involved, and as we said, maybe the complainants involved,
right,
and the interest of the public, it is appropriate that the docket submitted to the AG.
So would you have thought that in a matter like this, the police ought to have exercised the discretion at the very start to consult the Attorney General, who gives them the power to prosecute, before commencing the process?
I think that would have been a better approach, even though what they did wasn't wrong. That would have been a better approach because of the complainant in this particular case and the nature of the case.
Yeah. Is it early to ask that, by your review so far, what is likely to change?
I may not want to come out currently, but I think possibly within the week or so of last, the AG will issue a letter to the prosecution, let the police ask what is supposed to be done. We are still working on it.
Great. Now, the public perception from your request to the police and the police forwarding the docket to you and telling the whole world about it is that you are seeking to interfere with the Office of Special Prosecutor, who is independent of the politicians, to interfere in the matters, because the AG's office, you are politicians, so to speak, even though you are a constitutionally created office. This is your colleague. You sit in cabinet with her. And because of that, the nature of the matter, you have now sought to do this. Can you explain why you have now decided to come into the matter, and whether or not you are seeking to take away what the Special Prosecutor is doing?
All right. Now, if you look at the OSP Act, the areas within which the OSP is mandated to investigate into or inquire into have been clearly set out. Corruption-related matters, some aspects of procurement, public lifestyle audit, etc., etc. We are not going to go into those areas because those areas are the areas that the OSP is going into. We are rather looking at the other charges: stealing, dishonestly receiving, conspiracy, and other charges that we think may arise out of our review of this docket. So there's no attempt whatsoever to, as it were, be in conflict with the work of the OSP.
Okay.
Our interest is about what the police has done, whether the charges they preferred are maintainable in court, whether they are to be reduced, enhanced, or whether we have to look at other areas that we've not gone into.
Thank you very much. Okay.